Hello there, and welcome to NintenDad Weekly Chats. I'm your host Dave, alongside Pikachu in the Wild, Santi, and today we're going to be talking about how awesome a year 2019 was if you were a Nintendo fan. Let's get started. Santi, before we get started with our main line of questions, I do want to ask you, how did 2019 treat you?
I mean, it was a great year. I liked it. I don't think it's as forgettable as other years were. A lot of great games came out, though. A lot of memorable ones.
Yes, 2019 was a great year. A lot of stuff did come out. Bear with me, guys. Suffering from a little raspy throat here. But yes, a lot of great games did come out. Not only a lot of games, but 2 new revisions to the Nintendo Switch as well. That was pretty awesome. Fortunately for me, a lot of, I should say not a lot of attention was given to the Nintendo 3DS. So for me, that was kind of a bummer. But the Switch had an incredible lineup, and I think that it had really just one of its, if not its most amazing year, just overall. I think that 2017 might have been great just because Breath of the Wild came out. And of course, Mario Odyssey came out as well. And those were like the big hitters, right?
Top 2.
However, it wasn't overall I think powerful as 2018 or 2019, I'm sorry, was. Just overall, the amount and the sheer amount of games that came out was amazing. I mean, you got towards the end of the year, Pokémon Sword and Shield. You got Luigi's Mansion 3.
Love that.
You had Marvel Ultimate Alliance. There was just a ton of games to play that, quite frankly, I mean, we didn't play them all. There was Fire Emblem 3 Houses. That was an amazing game that reviewed very well. Unfortunately, we didn't get to play it. There was a lot of third-party support. There was a lot of indie games that came out in 2019. So if you were a Nintendo fan, 2019 pretty much got you covered. It does not matter what type of games you liked. They most likely came out on the Nintendo Switch. So that was most definitely pretty awesome. So kind of let's get started with the main line of questions, Santi. I do have 4 main questions for you today that we would like to discuss. And these are just our opinions of what we thought were probably our most enjoyed games of 2019, right? And the first one is actually that. It's what's the game you most enjoyed playing in 2019? And it does not necessarily have to be a game that came out in 2019. It's just a game that for you and your overall experience was the best one that you played this year. Take it away.
All right, so the best game I played in 2019, I'd have to say was Breath of the Wild, because we got Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild this year earlier.
Very not early adapters on Breath of the Wild, unfortunately, but we did have the fortune of this year playing it.
I really don't see why we didn't get it sooner. It is a fantastic game. I loved it throughout. I loved the visuals. What really got me was I think this is the first game that has had like precision combat with the parrying and the dodging, and if you make like a perfect dodge you can flurry. I think this is the first game that's done that for me, and I really enjoyed it. It's also a Legend of Zelda game, which I do love. I love Legend of Zelda. Well, as of this year was the year I got into Legend of Zelda. Like, I played a lot of games. But focusing on Breath of the Wild, all the fact that you could choose from multiple weapons was cool. Like, right. You can do that. They could all break, which is really cool.
Not just the Master Sword.
Yeah. The fact that they could break was really interesting. You could cook food to like heal you or stats.
I enjoyed the cooking system a lot.
you cooked way more than I did.
I think
I'm not gonna lie, I hardly did with the cooking. I only did hearty radishes during the end of the game.
It was fun, you know.
It was.
It was a little bit. It was a little bit of a. It's a nice break when you've been through some action parts. Maybe when you've gone into those shrines where it was a little bit difficult and it took me maybe more than one try just getting distracted, cooking, those dishes and trying to combine things. Being creative with those dishes was pretty fun.
Yeah, you were definitely smart with that. When I would see you play, you would make like potions of hastiness and things like that. And I was like, dang, I wish I did that, because I never actually did that.
The problem with that was, though, that I had some problems with my stamina running out and things like that. So I just had to get creative with the cooking. And I mean, fortunately for me, it was a very fun process. I really enjoyed it. And I do agree with all of those points that you're making about Breath of the Wild. It was totally a fantastic game. I can't believe that was a launch title.
It was
for the Nintendo Switch, right back in 2017.
Can you do you remember like the first trailer of it, like supposed to be coming out for the Wii U, and it did, but like,
yes, I believe that was on the Nintendo Switch reveal, which was in November of 2016. That reveal came out, and we saw that
Guardian.
Exactly, and we saw that big. I don't remember the names of it. I'm not too good at with names, just like you are. But remember that big guy that's just laying down.
It's been so long since they completed it. No, it doesn't ring.
Hit us back on the comments. I'm sure you guys know what we're talking about.
If I remember, it like started with an O and then ended with an X or something.
It was pretty fun. You know how you saw in the trailer, he glides up and he's gliding down with his with the glider, and then he's trying to shoot the arrow as well. So I mean that trailer was pretty epic, and I think that from what we played,
the gliding system was really cool.
It was very fun.
You could travel from like cliff to cliff, climb mountains, things like that.
Overall, I can't argue with your pick. I mean, it's fantastic.
I love the ambience in it. I love how mostly it was just like little tunes of piano, but overall,
music, you mean?
Yeah.
That was the only part where I actually had a little bit of a problem with it, just because of not that the music in Breath of the Wild wasn't epic. It was great. I just thought there was a lack of music in the game. Just like with Ocarina of Time, I mean, when we're in the car, sometimes I even will put the soundtrack on, just because of how awesome that soundtrack is. With Breath of the Wild, there are definitely great songs in that game. They are fantastic. I just feel that it needed a little bit more. Mm-hmm. That's all.
I disagree. I love the just emptiness in it. It really made you feel isolated in the wild.
So it added to your game experience. To your gaming. Okay, that's pretty cool, yeah.
If I had to make one complaint about the music, though, it'd have to be that I did not hear any tunes of The Lost Woods, because that track I love, that song I love, and it wasn't there, even though there was a Lost Woods in the game.
Yeah. I mean, overall, that game is pretty fantastic, and I'm pretty sure now that we're not just at the end of the year of 2019, we're also approaching the end of the decade, right? And I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a lot of the best of the decade, the best of the year, whatever. The decade, I'm sorry, not the year, but the decade. There's going to be a lot of those lists, and I'm pretty sure Breath of the Wild is going to be at the top of many, many lists, especially Nintendo lovers. But yeah, I mean, overall, that as a whole was a great experience. The story was great. I think that the final boss,
it was very unique,
and the final level going into the castle, that was pretty cool as well. I mean, you can technically not say the final level, because you can go in there as soon as you start the game. Right?
Yeah, you can. I mean, it's strongly advised, but you can.
No, strongly advised against going in there. But yeah,
how I can really tell that I really enjoyed this game was that I went out of my way to get all the shrines.
That's true. You did 120, am I correct?
Yeah, 129 including the DLC.
Not included the DLC, right? I did not conclude. I didn't finish all of the shrines. I think I ended up with 96 of them. For me, I thought that was enough. I enjoyed the game. I think it has been my most played game of 2019. I have not played any other game as much as I did that.
I'd say close second would have been Mario Odyssey, because you collected a lot of moons.
Well, Mario Odyssey for sure is my top game of the Switch as of right now, right? But I am a big platforming fan. I love that genre, and I love Mario. It's just my favorite overall character in the universe of Nintendo. But I have to say that when I finished Breath of the Wild, then here came my most enjoyed game of 2019. It was just like, oh my god, this was so awesome. I liked it so much. I want to keep playing more Zelda, but not necessarily that one. So again, this is another game that did not come out in 2019. This was an older game, but I just felt like I still wanted to, be in Hyrule. I wanted to be in that world. And I played The Legend of Zelda, A Link Between Worlds for the first time. And man, I loved that game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The 3DS for me is my top 2 system ever. And I just love that little console, and that game on that console was so amazing. I'm probably one of the few that turn on that 3D slider up. I really love playing my 3DS with the 3D slider on, and it just made for that experience to be just, amazing. It was so amazing that it made it even more memorable to me than actually playing Breath of the Wild. And Breath of the Wild is an amazing game. It was an amazing experience playing that, but just how good that A Link Between Worlds was for me is finishing a Breath of the Wild and then jumping into that one expecting like, oh, this is going to be a chilled game, this is going to be like a cool down from that other game, and it was just like, nope. Story is great, the graphics were fantastic, the gameplay was amazing. Everything from that. I think that I'm gonna have to admit, I think that at the end of the game I cried just a little bit because of the ending that is so amazing in that game.
It was a true shocker. I didn't see that.
It was super cool. So for me, the game that I most enjoyed playing in 2019 was most definitely The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, followed close by, surprisingly, with Super Mario Party. I am not, Santi, and I think you know this a lot, I don't like playing multiplayer. I don't like sitting and doing co-ops, or I don't like sitting in the couch and playing with other people. I just don't. I love video games, and I love that. I love those single player experiences. I love them. I enjoy them thoroughly. However, playing Super Mario Party for me this year was awesome because I got to play it with you and I got to play it with your sister. And even though I don't think I ever won one of the board games that we played,
I'm pretty sure you've won like at least one.
Maybe, and we really have to think hard to see if I did. Even though that happened, it was so enjoyable to just sit down with you guys and as a family, grab the Joy-Cons, have a laugh. Usually, what is it, like an hour and 20 minutes experience? I
feel like even though we pick an hour, it's always less than an hour.
It might be, but it's a great experience. Time it flies by. It does not feel like it was that long. And just to me, Super Mario Party was a great. I know that a great game to play. I know that a lot of people were complaining about, that there's not a lot of boards, and yes, they're absolutely right. There are not a lot of boards in it, but the mini games that are there are pretty great.
All Mario Party mini games are great.
I think that it was meaty enough for us to have a great experience.
I think my favorite mini game is the Fuzzy Flight School.
That one's pretty memorable, but I like them all. I surprisingly like the ones that where you have to guess, like with the rumble, right? Where if it's a thwomp coming down, or if it's that long, I don't know the name of that one.
The eel?
Like like an ostrich that like puts its beak down.
Yeah, that's like a newer one. I don't know the name of that.
Yeah, so all of the mini games were, to me, terrific, and they were very enjoyable, and they were very fun, and I really, really enjoyed it. So shout out to Super Mario Party. Yes.
What I really appreciate is that you played Link Between Worlds after you were done with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
And we completed Breath of the Wild like around the same time. You beat before me, but only because you didn't do all the shrines.
Yes, that's true.
And I did something similar. I wanted so much of Hyrule that I also played a Zelda game right after. But since you were occupied with Between Worlds, I went ahead and played Majora's Mask, which is a close favorite to Breath of the Wild.
Really?
Yes, I absolutely love that game. It was a great experience. Yeah.
I think
I liked it
played
better than Link Between
Ocarina
Worlds.
before Breath of the Wild. I'm not sure. I think
did.
yes, right? This year was a lot of Zelda for us.
I think you played Ocarina before 2019.
Was it at the end of 2018?
I believe so.
I'm not sure. I'm not very good with dates. But it was very fun to play. Again, I love playing with that 3D slider up, and it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful remake on the 3DS. And yes, we do have Majora's Mask. I started the game. It didn't really catch my attention so much as the other ones, but I think I might have had a Zelda fatigue. So I'm going to give it a try, maybe later down the road, just when I, cool down a little bit on Zelda. And yeah, when I'm ready, you have to really be ready to just immerse yourself in that world and just spend a few hours in there, and you really have to focus, because once you turn it off and you come back and you're like, okay, wait a minute, what was I doing?
So that's true. What I appreciate is that I would always play Majora's Mask on the Virtual Console of the Wii.
Oh, that's true. Yes, we
I
do
would
have
always
it there.
play it, but I would never advance, because I was just a little kid and I didn't know what I was doing.
Right.
So the whole time I was playing, I would just explore. And now that I finally get to immerse myself and actually complete the game, I can really enjoy it.
So let me ask you, because I don't remember. Did you finish it on the Virtual Console?
No.
Or did you finish it on the 3DS?
I never got even to the first area in the Virtual Console.
Got it.
I was just in Clocktown exploring. That's all I ever did.
Okay. So then you finished it on
the...
Did you like the graphics on the 3DS?
I didn't mind it. It was just like Ocarina, which I did enjoy Ocarina, but I enjoyed much more Majora's Mask. I mean, I got all the masks.
What was it about that you liked more of Majora's Mask than Ocarina of Time?
I don't know. I just like the concept. It's a little bit of a wild card.
Not your typical stuff?
Yeah, the fact that it had a 3-day timer was definitely intriguing. It was something different. The fact that there are only 4 temples was a little weird. It was fun going through all of them. They each had their challenges.
Okay.
I don't know which one's my favorite. They all have their little challenge.
Okay.
But overall, I liked it, but I don't think as much as Breath of the Wild, because I spent around 100 hours playing that game.
I think that if we look at your Switch clock, you're probably over the 100-hour mark. I don't think
you're around 95.
Yes, 95, 96 hours. I think it was that I did on Breath of the Wild, which is the most that I've played. I think Mario Odyssey, even though I got a huge amount of moons,
45, I'd say.
Ooh, no, it was over 50, but I mean nowhere close. That 96, 95 hour mark that I did on Breath of the Wild. So that was a testament of how great that game really, really is. So I mean, I agree with your pick. It's an awesome game. Just for me, I think A Link Between Worlds just was a little bit more memorable for me. All right, well, great pick, Santi.
You too.
All right, Santi. Well, here comes your next question. What was a game that came out in 2019 that you regret not playing?
Now, I am perfectly happy with the selection of games that we have.
True.
But we sadly didn't get the chance to play Mario Maker 2.
Okay.
And Mario Maker 2 is such a great game because you get to create levels and to play other ones that people have created that are intensely creative and hard. You just see so many streams and videos of it.
It was very fun.
Yeah, it's really funny to watch people sometimes rage at it even.
Some of those levels are crazy difficult.
And we tried to get Mario Maker 1, but when we got it, it didn't even work.
Yeah, the disc was just bleh.
But I was fortunate to play Mario Maker 1 with my cousins.
Right.
And I was able to create a few levels.
Okay.
That I did enjoy. There's a little one where you traverse by bouncing on these little lifesavers, I want to call them.
Okay.
So yeah, you would bounce, and that was pretty cool. I liked it. I could think of other creative ways to make levels. I enjoyed playing them. I played this really hard one called, I believe it was the Crouch Olympics. It was really hard because you would have to make it through holes by jumping on little springs.
Okay.
And then crouch because there was ice, so you'd have to slide, and there were a lot of what do you call them? The The
bouncy things?
No, not the bouncy things. They like push you.
Like the conveyor belts?
Yeah, the conveyor belts.
Okay.
Yeah, those are there. Those come into play, and it was hard but enjoyable. I ended up running out of time.
A lot of the levels there were very creative. I do have to say that they're very, very creative and very difficult. Quite frankly, I mean, it to me, I wouldn't dare go in there. I tried Mario Maker on the 3DS again, just one of my favorite systems of all time. And it wasn't as robust as it was on the Wii U, right? On Mario Maker on the Wii U. However, I enjoyed my experience on that to get me excited for Super Mario Maker 2. However, like you said, there was just so much that we were playing, and quite frankly, I mean, full-time job, full-time student, there's a limited amount of time that we have to play. So I guess we had to pick and choose what we wanted to play this year. And again, I'm also very happy with what we played, but I think I agree with you. Super Mario Maker 2, it's not my pick, but I think it's a very close, maybe second.
And the thing about it is that this is all from Mario Maker 1. And now when we look at 2, there's more things like slopes and 3D world and things like that. And then there's also this multiplayer thing. I've heard that it's a little iffy. That it's not all that great with the online
because of the
service.
Online.
Yeah.
Yes, I heard that as well. Yeah,
but
you're right.
Fact, I do hope that they'll work on it. The fact that they announced the Legend of Zelda thing is pretty cool
awesome,
too.
Yeah. And it's crazy to like kind of, especially for me that I'm old school player and all of that. It's like when I used to buy a game for the Nintendo 64 for the Super Nintendo, it was like what you bought was what you got. If it had a bug, it had a bug. You just, deal with it. It's crazy to think that now, you're getting a patch and it's getting fixed. And
and the fact that they keep adding on to it is really cool.
Yeah. And it was very cool because for the initial hype for the game was really, really high, right? A lot of people were super hyped about it. They were really expecting it. They were happy with the announcement of the things that got added, like you said,
the
slopes.
Are the Lakitus in the game yet?
I think so. I'm not 100%. I haven't kept up, quite frankly. I haven't kept up, but I know that a lot of people were really happy with the hype when it initially got announced, right? And then they have this update now with, like you said, the Link from the Legend of Zelda
Master Sword,
and it's not just the skin; it's the actual character.
Arrows, bombs, the sword.
It adds so much
shield.
to the gameplay and to the way, like you said, part of the fun of this game is the creativity from the players to, make their own levels. So, having that added extra character there was, must be super cool. I'm excited to play it as well. I think that given the chance and when we get a little break, I think that's going to be one of the first games that we pick up to, certainly enjoy. I myself don't think I would be that creative to make any good levels. I'd probably make like the easiest levels in the world. But
there's nothing wrong with that.
But I really think that I would enjoy playing the 100 levels that Nintendo creates, and maybe why not?
The story mode with the Nintendo created levels are really cool. I was about to mention that, but then I forgot.
But then also, why not? If you create a cool level, then I can jump in there and play it, then go for it.
You could get inspired by others.
Exactly. So I do think that that's a game that definitely had a lot of meat on its bones, and that's a great pick. Hopefully we get a chance to play it very, very soon. Now, my pick, even though we do have the game, I did not get to play it. I didn't want to rush it before this episode that we're recording today because
we didn't get it recently.
Yes, very recently, but I do want to enjoy that game, sit down and thoroughly enjoy it because it's my favorite character, Luigi's Mansion 3. And if you guys have been watching our Nintendo weekly chats, you know how excited I was for the release of Luigi's Mansion 3. It got
weekly
released.
news.
Yes,
this is the first weekly chat.
Yes, you're absolutely right. how excited I was for that, and it just recently got released on October 31st. We just recently bought it, so I can't wait to play it. However, I do have to say that is a game in 2019 that I probably regret not playing.
You're gonna love it though.
However, I mean, it's never too late. So definitely looking forward to playing Luigi's Mansion 3.
I have 2 close seconds to Mario Maker 2 though.
Ooh.
Well, actually, they're not that close, but I would have enjoyed to play them.
Okay.
So Fire Emblem Three Houses. There's a lot of good reviews about that game. I do want to play a Fire Emblem game.
You know what though? It was very surprising to see a lot of lists of YouTube content creators that had actually Fire Emblem at the very top of their list, like their number one. That was pretty surprising considering the games that came out in 2019, like Luigi's Mansion, like Pokemon Sword and Shield, like Super Mario Maker 2, right? Marvel Ultimate Alliance. There were a lot of great games that came out this year. And that one was just like at the very top of a lot of people's list. So that was pretty awesome.
I mean, maybe one day we'll find out why.
Yeah, absolutely. I was kind of excited when the hype around the game's release. I was kind of excited. I was going to play it. It was a very busy period for us. So therefore I didn't, end up getting it, and I didn't.
The hype kind of died down for you.
It did. It really did. And then a lot of the games just keep coming and coming and coming, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I gotta pick one. So
you picked what you were like more familiar with and excited for.
Yeah. I've been kind of pushing it on the side, but I do agree with you. I think it would be great to just kind of, pick it up, because I've heard it's a big game, right? There's a lot of hours to play in that game. And again, that's another part probably why I kind of get a little bit scared on picking it up. It's just because...
What if you don't like it?
No, that's not the problem. It's the commitment it takes, like the hours that you have to really put in there to play it.
Would you be scared if it took as long as Breath of the Wild?
Probably.
Well, I don't think it would take as long. It's just the time that you would spend in it.
Yeah. No, I definitely don't think that I got another 96 hours for me in one just game.
No, maybe you can pull a miracle.
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, I agree. That's a good pick, dude.
The other game that was kind of close to Fire Emblem is Astral Chain. Now, Astral Chain is Platinum Games, made by Platinum Games. It looked very interesting. It takes the role of 2 cops, I believe. Mm-hmm. I actually don't know much about it, but it looked very unique, and I was very intrigued by the fact that you could take over monsters or something like that, or use them as companions.
I never got into the hype of that game.
It seemed like you could move platforms and things. It looked really cool.
It does. The art style was very cool. It looks like it goes 100 miles per minute. It looks very fast paced. However, man, dude, this year for me was, I mean, this, I was very focused on a lot of retro consoles, right? I was focused on buying a lot of my retro consoles. I'm very proud to say that I finally have all the home systems from Nintendo now, not counting Virtual Boy. But I had a lot of focus on that, and I have, because of it, a big backlog of games that I still need to play. Now, when it comes to Platinum Games, I just recently bought Bayonetta 1 and 2, right? For the Wii U.
Yeah, but they're still there, not played by either of us.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like that backlog of games that we have there. I was like, I would rather play Bayonetta than pick up Astral Chains and make another commitment to another game that I don't have the time to play.
I mean, we still got Bayonetta 1, 2. We still got Color Splash, Tropical Freeze.
Dude, Tropical Freeze. I need to get that ASAP. But we just keep buying games for the Switch, and we just recently also, really quick note, sorry to interrupt you, but when the Switch Lite got announced, I was like, cool options. It's always good for the people that want it and that need it. That would be pretty cool. It was cool for you because we finally had, that not spending $300 on another system, a little bit cheaper. We got you your own Switch. And then I came with the opportunity of getting one as well, and I got one as well. And having it was like, it's pretty cool. And now having that just like this thing in the bedroom is not good, looking good for my backlogs, because it's so easy to just grab it, go in bed, and start playing with it.
This looks, with this, I like this color because it's actually, all the colors look different than it does like digitally in box and things like that.
Sure.
This looks really great. I thought it'd be lighter.
I loved it. I loved the system, but the point to that was that it just makes it hard to go back to that backlog, and the Switch just keeps getting bombarded with games, and very cool games, and the indie games that are coming out on it is just way too enticing to put down. So making a commitment to, like, for example, Fire Emblem, right? Or making a commitment to Astral Chains.
Mario Maker 2.
Mario Maker 2. I'll make that commitment. But the other ones, I don't know.
Make a commitment to like making super complicated levels.
No, but maybe again beating those 100 levels would be pretty.
I feel like I could like search up tutorials.
Sure. But yeah, definitely. Again, 2019 was just a great year for Nintendo fans. I think it doesn't matter what you were into, you got your game. All right, Santi, and now time for the big one. Game of the year 2019. So
had to have come out 2019.
Yes, this game had to come out in 2019. What was your pick?
All right, drum roll.
Yes, sir.
That was bad. I can't do this. All right. My pick for 2019 is Luigi's Mansion 3. Now, we did just recently get, less than a week ago, I want to say. Yes, less than a week ago. But I am loving it. I haven't gone through much of it. I love the concept of it. I love how it's in, like, a hotel. And what's really cool about it, I'd say, is what makes me really love it is how I feel like it's better than the first and the second game. Because in the first game, you'd be exploring a mansion, just like one whole mansion that you'd traverse through.
Right.
In the second one, you'd choose levels, right?
Yeah,
and
different mansions.
This is a personal thing, but I've always been against like going back to levels to like get collectibles and things like that. Like how in Luigi's Mansion 2, you can go back and
improve your score and stuff like that.
Or score. I forgot that was a thing. Jeez. And like grab boos too. Mm-hmm. And like there's like a boo in every level, and I was like, I didn't want to go through that, because then you'd have to go back through a level and then play the whole challenge again, and like maybe the challenge was really tedious for you. Like well, no, I'm not gonna say anything. That's spoiler. Can't do that. So yeah, I've always been against going back in levels unless they're like really fun.
Okay.
In Luigi's Mansion 3, however, it's this one whole hotel. It should be Luigi's Hotel, but not mansion. You don't really go through levels. Well, you kind of do like floors.
Right.
You go through floors instead, and each floor has like a set of collectibles, and you can just like go there easily without having to like redo the things that you already done. As a matter of fact, you can actually go back and see ghosts doing something else than they previously were when you first explored that. Like one time I went back to a floor and I just saw some ghosts just messing around, and another time I just saw one just cleaning up as a hotel staff.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So you said which we did. We just purchased Luigi's Mansion 3, right? And you've only had a few hours to spend in the mansion hotel.
Yeah, it says your hour log. I've played like around 3 hours.
Okay, so you're 3 hours in, and it's been such an amazing experience that this is your number one game of 2019. Now, I think a lot of people have seen the introduction of me saying this is the Pikachu in the wild. They can see it right here. You're a Pokemon fan. And this year, we got a brand new gen Pokemon game, right? That you've already completed. You finished it.
I haven't caught them all yet.
You're not 100% done with it, but you completed the main story, correct? And yet, Luigi's Mansion 3, in the mere 3 hours that you played it, is your game of the year.
I love the humor.
Okay.
The humor is amazing. I will say there's not as much interaction between Luigi and Egad as like there'd always be a little dialogue before the levels.
Okay, so that's something maybe that's not that bad. It might be good because right now I'm currently also one of the reasons why I didn't play Luigi's Mansion 3 or I haven't started playing it also is because I'm going through Luigi's Mansion 2 Dark Moon on the 3DS. And the interaction in that game with Egad is just, oh my gosh, man. You do this one little thing and it's like, okay, we can stop. So maybe that's a good thing that he's not bugging you that much.
I mean, he still contacts you.
Okay.
I love how in each game you actually get a little device. Like in the first one you got like a
horror.
Yeah, Game Boy Horror, and then in 2 you got like DS. DS. Do you want me to tell you what the thing is for this game?
I've seen it. Isn't it like a Virtual Boy or something like that?
Yeah, it's called the Virtual Boo.
Okay, yeah.
It's actually really cool because Luigi like puts it up to this.
Pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, and the whole thing is actually red.
So, I mean, to me, that just makes it makes me more excited to want to start playing Luigi's Mansion 3 just because I know how much you love Pokemon. Because I know how big of a fan you are. Yes, go ahead.
Another thing that also made me love the game was the mechanics. Now, in Luigi's Mansion 2, you got introduced to like the Dark Light, I think it was called.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the name. The Dark Light, which made you reveal invisible things that are still there, but like in another dimension or something like that. They have that, but now you've got like a little burst thing that helps with crowd control and like other little puzzles or just like getting through obstacles. Another thing is like the suction cup where you just stick something in there and slam the obstacle. Yeah. You can also do that with ghosts, which is super satisfying. Just like 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can slam other ghosts, which is pretty funny.
The environments are destructible as well, right? Like
the environments are destructible.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's really cool, the slamming, you can do it to other ghosts. There's like a similar variety of ghosts, like in like the demos and the trailers, you'd see like the red ghosts, which are similar to like the ones in Luigi's Mansion 2.
The big ones?
Yeah, but like in the 3, they're like blockheads instead. What's cool about those is that you have to go from behind to get them.
Oh, that's a spoiler. Shh. No spoilers.
It was in the demo.
0 spoilers.
You've seen it. I know you have.
Back to my point that I was making, I think that it's really amazing that a full-fledged Pokemon game came out this year, and yet you chose Luigi's Mansion.
I'm liking it.
To me, it just, speaks volumes to it. I know that you have very good taste of games, so I think that I'm going to thoroughly enjoy Luigi's Mansion 3.
The other thing I'd say is that, I'm not sure if it's just me, but I feel like Luigi's voice is off a little.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the same voice actor, so I'll have to pay attention to it when I play it.
I don't know, it's probably just me. It feels a little off.
Okay.
Are you gonna answer? Or should I say the little?
No, you can go ahead. Give your shout outs.
Okay. So the honorable mentions I'd say for most enjoyed are Pokemon Sword and Shield. I wanted Shield, then I ended up getting Sword.
Yeah.
And Yoshi's Crafted World.
Well, Santi, I do have to say those are some good picks. I think that as far as shout outs go, definitely Pokemon Sword, which is the one that you played, and Yoshi's Crafted World are 2 very good runner-ups for your number 1 pick, which is of course Luigi's Mansion 3. Now it's time for my pick of 2019, which is a little bit of a surprise maybe because there were so many awesome games that came out in 2019 with awesome graphics, awesome stories, Fire Emblem 3 Houses, Luigi's Mansion 3, right? We got Yoshi's Crafted World, we got Astral Chains, like you just mentioned, we got Pokemon Sword and Shield. There were so many amazing games. However, the one that caught my attention and the one that really was the one that I almost on a daily basis come back time and time again, Tetris 99. Tetris 99 is my game of the year for 2019. One of the things, it's free. It's free. You just, you got that online, Nintendo Online, you get the game. And not only that, but they've been supporting it so much. I'm not a multiplayer gamer, like I said before. Battle Royale was never a thing that really was like caught my attention. However, the way that Tetris did it has been so entertaining because there was a learning curve. Even though I played, kept playing Tetris throughout the years in my 3DS, just playing it on the Switch and having that learning curve was awesome. And also the fact that Nintendo has been supporting it. They got the Maximus Cups with giving us those little themes. That was awesome, and it kept me coming back.
Yeah,
and
I earned my Pokemon theme, and I took it away from me.
Disappeared. But also now that they kept adding the daily challenges, which then give you those little tickets to buy some extra themes as well. That is pretty awesome and has been almost on a daily basis. I just keep coming back to play 1 or 2 matches just so that I can meet the criteria and get my little ticket so I can redeem for a new theme. So for me, definitely Tetris 99 was the game of the year. Big shout out to all those big names. A big shout out to your pick, Luigi's Mansion 3. Which were all amazing games. Again, if you're a Nintendo fan, it was definitely a great year. Now, again, that's 2019. Thank you very much. You're almost in the rear view mirror. Talking about 2020, Santi. What's your most anticipated game for 2020?
Now, originally it was a sequel for Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, but it wasn't announced for 2020. Not yet.
Yes, I know, not yet. Hopefully
late 2020.
Yes.
But since that goes against the rules, Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Big surprise.
I look forward to that game because I had a lot of fun and I spent a lot of time playing New Leaf, which is said to be the best in its series.
Yes.
It was very interactive. It was very fun. I liked it very much. I also have Happy Home Designer, but it's not like as...
like a full-fledged game. Animal Crossing, yeah.
And how you can like craft things also in New Horizons. Lots of people are saying it's like Harvest Moon.
Never played Harvest Moon.
Never played.
Yeah.
But it looks great to me. It looks really good.
It seems like a very meaty game. It seems like it's going to be a game that you're going to spend a lot of hours in. That it's just not my cup of tea. I played Animal Crossing, the mobile game. Pocket Camp. Yes, Pocket Camp.
Pocket Camp was nice.
And it was a nice little distraction. However, it's not what I'm looking for in a video game. I guess also with what we've been, talking about a lot, which is the backlog of games. It's just like that one seems like it's way too many hours to put in and to commit to that game. It does look great, and I have been hearing a lot of people have been very hyped about it. Yes, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What I do hope this game accomplishes is its soundtrack, because New Leaf's soundtrack was great. I loved how a new little song would play at each hour.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it would. Each
That's
hour,
something you have
a
to
new
show me,
little
yeah.
song would play. Cool. And I love the soundtrack. It's very relaxing. I love to hear it while I'm at school and we can put music on.
Nice.
It's very relaxing.
That's cool when you can enjoy a soundtrack of a video game like that. I know I do. I know I love to download some video game soundtracks and either put them when I'm driving to work or just when I'm chilling. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm looking forward to go ahead and you showing me that. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Nothing. I was gonna make a comment that next time we play Monopoly and it's my turn to pick music, I'll put on Animal Crossing music.
Yeah, we like to listen to some music while we're playing board games here in this house.
Very competitive.
Yes, it is. My most anticipated game for 2020 is definitely Doom Eternal. I love the Doom franchise. Again, I started Doom 2016 on the Nintendo Switch. Very much looking forward to completing that, but I am also very much looking forward to that new entry, Doom Eternal. It looks amazing. It looks to have some platforming elements to it that just adds to the already amazing story and gameplay of Doom. So I'm very much anticipating that game in 2020, and I'm very excited for the new Nintendo Directs as well. See what what
There's
we
gonna
get.
be one. Is there gonna be one January?
I sure hope so. But I mean, just
the long overdue one.
Whatever they announce, like I said, very surprising. We got new hardware with the new longer hours battery life. I'm sorry, for the Nintendo Switch.
We've got Switch Lights.
Switch Lights, which are awesome entries, and who knows what we're going to see in 2020. So very excited for the new year. Again, if you were a Nintendo fan in 2019, I know you had a good year, but we're even going to have a better one in 2020. For now, that's all the time that we have. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to be having more weekly content on chats and on weekly news, so please stay tuned for that.
Yep.
And as always, sign off.